Hey there, people of the grid. Wanted to fill you in on Disney passes. There's several options available out there. You can get day passes. In fact, if you're coming from other places, like most of us would be, you can actually pre-purchase travel packages that include your hotel, your airfare, and your Disney park passes, and it kind of hides the price of what you're paying for the pass. So what I thought I would do is kind of break it down for you, deconstruct. There's not a whole lot of mystery there, but there is a way that you can make the most out of the passes, and it's something that I think a lot of people don't think about. You know, we hear of people coming to Disneyland and they come for like 2 days or 3 days, and if that's all you can squeeze in, if that's all vacations allow, then you go with whatever options are available there for the daily passes. But if you're here for like a week and a half, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, like we often come for more than a week, if you're here long enough and you want to go into the park, your best bet is going to be the annual pass. Now, there's a couple of ways to use the annual pass properly, and that is getting the most out of it. So the more days that you can come to Disneyland, the better, because you're going to get better value out of your passes. So let's take a quick look at what's available for daily passes, and then I'll sort of dive into the annual passes and talk a little bit about the differences and the one that we're going to pick for our upcoming Disney trip. All right, so looking at the website, which the prices seem to go up every single year. We've been a number of times, and we've got pictures of every year of what Disney charges for their prices, and they've more than doubled in the last, or tripled, I guess, in the last 10 years-ish. So if you're going to go, sooner is better, because it's just going to cost more next year. Okay, so on the daily side, it's pretty straightforward. If you're coming only for 1 day, it says prices will vary, so it's kind of like market rates. You're going to pay whatever they charge that day. Then they want you to go for more days. So if you go for 2 days, it turns into $112.50 a day. If you're going for 3 days, it's $100 a day, so 3 days would be $300. If you're going for 4 days, they charge $81.25 per day, and 5 days is $68 a day. Now, that's just to get into the parks, right? If you want to take advantage of a thing called the Max Pass, which allows you to download your card, your park pass, into your phone, what you can do with a Max Pass is get on rides faster. It saves you from lining up a fair bit. You basically get the ticket for the ride you want to go on, and it says, okay, come back between 1 and 1:30 p.m., and as long as you do that, you'll get on that ride within 5 minutes. You don't have to wait the half hour or whatever. Not only that, you can use the app that tells you exactly how long the different wait times are for the different rides. Now, if you're getting a Max Pass on a 2-day, it turns that $112.50 to $127.50, because they add $15 per day per ticket. And if you have a party of 6 like we do, you have to add that $15 to all 6 tickets. Otherwise, one person or whoever you don't get that Max Pass for won't be able to take advantage of the ride. Max Passes are better than Fast Passes, which you can still get the old-fashioned way. You run up to the little dispensing thing, you get your Fast Passes, then you wait 2 hours to get the next one. Max Passes are an hour and a half, so it optimizes your time a little better too. So it is worth it in my mind. If you're going to be in the park all day trying to hit as many rides as you can, Fast Pass / Max Pass, they are the best ways to go. Max Pass is better than Fast Pass. Now, if you're going for 3 days, it's $115 a day. If you're for 4 days, it's $96.25 a day. And then the 5-day park pass, it's $83 per day times 5, and then you're in the park. So you can see how that gets kind of expensive, but you want to make the most of your passes, and so that's what you pay. Now, here's the thing that I think a lot of people forget to look into. So let's just sort of leave those daily passes there and talk about the annual passes now, which is a whole different category of passes. Okay, annual passes, there's 4 different types of annual passes, and each one comes with more and more benefits and more, I guess, value that you can use out of the pass. The first one and the cheapest one is the Flex Pass. It's annual. It starts at $599. It does not come with Max Pass capability. If you want Max Pass capability, you add $100 to that annual pass, and that's the same for all of them. So let's just assume you've done that, you want to make the most out of your stay. It's going to be $699 for the annual. That's the Flex Pass. If you go with the Deluxe Pass, it's going to end up costing $799 plus the $100 for the Max Pass. You're now at $899. That's US. Per year for the Deluxe Pass. Then there's a signature pass, which again, a little more benefits, and we'll cover those off, and I'll show you where you can go on the website to get that. Signature pass starts at $1,100. Somebody's speeding. Signature pass starts at $1,149 and then goes up to $1,249 once you add the fast pass. And then there's the Signature Plus, which is $1,399, and that's it. It actually includes the Max Pass, so you don't have to add the $100 there. Now let's look at what you get. On the lowest one, the first one, the Flex Pass, you get 10% off of merchandise and 10% off of food. And you also, that's it. You just get 10% off merchandise, 10% off food. If you're going to drive a car, you're going to be paying about $25 a day to park in the local parking lots. And then that's it. That's the only benefit you get. One step up from the Flex Pass is the Deluxe Pass. That thing with the Max is $899. Now with that, you also get 10% off merchandise. You also get 10% off of food. And you also have to pay $25 a day for parking. So little bit, the only other big difference is your blackout dates. Both of those passes have blackout dates, and the Deluxe has a little less blackout dates than the Flex. So what you want to do is check when you're thinking of coming to make sure that it fits your vacation schedule. The third one, next higher one up, is the Signature. Now this is the one that we've usually gotten because with the Signature, you'll get merchandise 20% off. That's pretty good. And food, you get 15% off. So any of the food on downtown Disney and most of the restaurants in the park. If they're carts, like if they're the things that typically take cash, you don't get discounts at those. So not bad, and a lot less blackout dates as well. Now the key blackout dates, your periods of Christmas and Easter and those types of days, sometimes in the summer, those are blacked out. So again, depending on what your vacation schedule is, that might be a really good fit for you. It has worked for us often in the past, and we've been able to shift our vacations around it. Our challenge now is that our kids, it's really hard to take Ethan and Amelia out of high school because they miss so much. So we're really stuck to going Christmas or Easter or summer. Those are the best times for us to go when they're not in school. So that brings us to the Signature Pass. Okay, last but not least, certainly the best option and the most expensive, obviously. The Signature Pass gives you 20% off of merchandise and 15% off of food. It includes the Max Pass, so you don't have to pay extra for that, and you get free parking. Now with the one just below it, the Signature, you also get free parking. So that's $25 a day. If you're here for 10, 15 days, that can add up. If you don't have a car because you flew in, then so what? You don't get anything for that. The cool thing about the Signature Plus is absolutely no blackout days. So every day that the Disneyland parks are open, you can come in and use that pass. That's the pass that I think is going to work best for us this year. Before we look at that though, let's do a comparison of prices. Remember I showed you the daily prices where the most or the cheapest cost-effective version was if you came for 5 days, it would end up costing $83 a day. Well, if you look at the cost of the annual passes, so starting with the Flex, if you take your $699, divide 83 into it, if you come to the park for 9 days that year, it made sense for you to get the annual pass. With the Deluxe Pass at $899, that includes the Max, right? If you come into the Disneyland parks for 11 days or more, it's cheaper than buying the daily rate. For the Signature Pass, $1,249. If you were to come into the parks 15 days in that year, you've gotten your return on your money. It's cheaper than paying the daily rate. Now with the Signature Plus Pass, which again, that's the one I think we're going to end up getting, you would have to come into the park 17 days in order to pay for that pass. And so we're leaning towards that one because we're thinking that in this upcoming year, and that's the key for those of us that have to travel in, what we do is we'll at least try and get 2 Disney vacations in trips to the parks on our annual passes. That way it makes it worthwhile. So let's take a look. If I was to, we've got our upcoming trip, and we'll call that trip 1. So for trip 1, for trip 1, we're looking at being in the parks anywhere between 14 to 21 days. So that 14 is the worst case scenario, 21 would be the best, depending on time off and all that stuff. Our second trip, we're thinking of coming around Christmas time, which would give us about 14 days in the park. And then our third trip, if we can squeeze that in, we would come for 5 to 7 days. So on the low end, if you add all of that up, we'll be spending, and either all day or part of a day, we'll be spending up to 33 days or even 42, anywhere between 33 to 42 days in the parks, enjoying the rides that we love and our kids love. So that ends up costing us anywhere from $42.39 per person per ticket to $33.31 per person per ticket. That's pretty good because the daily rate, the best daily rate is $83. So if we can get in and get 42 days of fun in the parks, that saves us a ton of money. That's almost as cheap as going to a local attraction here in Calgary. We don't have to go and spend that much money, and we have a lot of fun and we get a lot of enjoyment going to the Disneyland parks. So that's, I think, what we're going to do is we're going to get the Signature Plus. We're going to spend as much days as we can in the park. We can go in early, we can stay late, we can go for half a day, we can skip a day, but whatever, as long as we get our time in, it'll be worthwhile. The other thing that's really going to help us pay for this is we're going to drive down. So we're going to drive. This year we're taking Tammy's Tesla Model X, and I figured out the cost because she's going to charge it to full at home before we leave. And so we're going to leave the house with a full charge, which costs us it's just over $6. Leave the house with a fully charged Tesla at $6. We're going to drive all the way down to Anaheim. It'll take us about 2 days. And then we're going to spend our time at Disneyland and drive all the way back. That trip will save us close to $5,000 in airfare. So instead of spending $5,000 to get to Disneyland, we're going to spend $6,000. And then we're going to do our second trip. And we've pretty much decided that for the second trip, we'll also drive, saving another $5,000. Again, that trip will also only cost $6 because we charge the car at home. So for $12, we'll end up saving $10,000 in airfare, which will cover the cost of our Disney annual passes. Yeah, we lose a little bit of time driving, but that's some serious savings. So plus we get to see the world on the way there and on the way back, and it's an adventure. Road trips are always an adventure, and you get road trip food. So for us, it's going to be the Signature Plus. It's going to hurt buying it, but we're going to get our value out of it. I know we will. So there you go. If you have any questions on annual passes or daily passes, put them in the comments below. I'll put the link to the Disney pages where you can get the info and the pricing on the tickets. Oh, and we are Disney Vacation Club members, and one of the perks is we get a tiny bit of cost savings on buying the annual passes. We get $20 per person per ticket off. So that's $120 US that we get to save. Every little bit helps. All right, I got to get going, but that's my update on annual passes at Disneyland. Can't wait. Miker out.